I have talked about delegation till your ears bleed or your eyes are popping out of your head. They're burning right now. I love delegation, but I've always talked about how good it is. And what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about the one mistake that people make. I say people, I'm talking about business owners, I'm talking about contractors, whatever it is. Hell, even if you work for corporate, you got to delegate, or you should be delegating. And if you're not delegating, you go home with a damn headache. I know that because it'll wear you out. Contractors try to grow their own business. Can't do it. It's not going to happen. You got to have people. Can you just lay flooring by yourself? Sure. Are you going to make a fortune? No, you might be able to eat, and you better have lots of flooring. And I'll tell you what, the flooring guys I know, the damn knees wear out, elbows wear out. You ain't going to be able to do it. Enough said. Now, my flooring guys got all kinds of crews. But, the other day, I was doing a job. I was actually going to go, I was trying to figure out how to do something, and I didn't want to do it. The client, he was trying to, I like my Fridays, just put it that way. And they wanted me on a Friday afternoon. Gosh dang it. Okay, I'll take care of it. Well, then I got to thinking, damn, I pay Mason to do that. Mason said, sure, I'll go. It's like, okay, Mason, go take care of that. Going to the job site. He did it. I had my Friday off. Life is good. Had a client call. They called me. And the best part is if I don't have time, I let the phone ring through to Elizabeth. But they called me. And I was going. And Elizabeth said, I'll go. Okay. Take care of that. Today, I'm here by myself. Why? Because I got Mason doing something. I got little Chris doing something. I got Elizabeth doing something that I used to do myself that I ain't doing right now because I'm here talking to you all. But let's talk about the mistakes. Most contractors think delegation is doing the estimating or just handing it over. They talk about they think they can fix stuff themselves. But delegation means it's more the mindset. That's the mistake we make. We don't let other people take ownership. And that's the mindset that we have to come over. I'll just give you the examples of what I used to do. I still do sometimes. It's hard. It is hard. Why? Well, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But the huge difference is instead of assigning a task, you have to assign the ownership of that responsibility that you're going to give them. Make them responsible for the outcome. You got to tell them the standards. I remember one time I went to a customer service rep, this is years ago, and I gave them a task. Or basically that's what it came out. I gave them a task. And they said, yeah, we'll take care of it. It's okay. And the day ended, didn't happen. Boy, I was aggravated. I went to their boss. I said, listen, so-and-so said they were going to take care of it. They didn't do it. I got a client, blah, blah, blah. They said, did you tell them today? I took a deep breath. No, didn't tell them today. But apparently I need to tell them today. And I've learned that from over the years. I'll never forget that story. So now, if there's something specifically on a timeline I want it done, I tell them when I want it done. But a good team member will claim it as theirs and be offended if you try to take it from them. Think about that. I've turned the estimating over to Elizabeth. The other day, I got a phone call, and it was actually some supplier of some software for estimating. And they said, can we have a meeting? I said, I'll tell you what. I said, that's not going to be very good for my health. They said, what do you mean? I said, she'll kill me if I give something different. And I told Elizabeth that story today. She goes, yep. I said, nah, I know better than that. Because she has claimed it as her own. That's her responsibility. She knows that. And that's one less thing Chris G has to worry about. That's one less thing we have to do. Mason's going to be that way. Now, Mason has been here long enough, and I haven't got all my standards to him. But over time, Mason's going to get pissy if Chris gets his nose in his business. Now, it's my business, but it's his business to take care of the things I got him responsible for. My first job was an estimator right out of college, and I'm pretty damn good at estimating. Matter of fact, I like estimating. I've talked about liking numbers. Does Elizabeth do it like I want her to? Nope. It's not like Chris would do it, but it don't matter. Did it get done? You got to set those standards for those people, because what they're going to do, they're going to just sit around and wonder what to do. Hell, they might even wait for you to answer a question. So you got to hire the A people that are going to take the initiative. You got to make sure those A people understand if there's something particularly that you want. They need to know that. You other people are just kind of waiting around, kind of like doing the legwork, and they report back to you. I don't want reporting back to me, and I want to stay in the know, but I got to let go. Get that information back to you somehow, whatever it is. I love asking questions. I'll call somebody, how did so-and-so happen? And I knew that's more a reminder to them. But I'm not bitching at them. I'm getting my answers. I know what's going to happen. I want to know what's going on. I know that customers are being taken care of. I know that costs are being shared, making good decisions. And then if it's not what I want, I might make a suggestion. But before I make that suggestion, I got to look back and say, okay, Chris, my wife's very happy there's only one Chris Gilman, because can you imagine there was more one of me? Lord have mercy. The earth might spin faster, but people wouldn't like Chris G. Why? Because I'm a pain in the ass sometimes. Don't want to be a pain in the ass, so I got to step back and catch myself. Why? Because we are business owners. That's how we are. We're geared this way. But we got to be a good leader. I went to Dale Carnegie class one time, and I used to be probably hell on wheels sometimes, because that's the only Chris's way or no way. Dale Carnegie, win friends and influence people. Took that 12-week course, very good course, and it taught me a lot of things. Changed how I think, how I act with people. You can get more, when you heard would get more flies with honey than vinegar and all that good stuff. That's the truth. Sometimes things aren't just need to be said. You just need to shut your mouth and rethink it before you say something. Now, why do contractors or any business leader struggle with this? It's identity, I guess. We are a true business owner. Look at the 4 types of people. We're that was it square, triangle, whatever it is, that we're the leader. That's our job. We are the alpha male, alpha female. I guess you can have alpha female. It doesn't matter. You're the alpha. You are the leader. You're the pack. But a pack has people behind them. A wolf pack's only strong as his team. That one alpha can't win it all. So you got to bring that good pack in. And I remember the other day, I mentioned Mason earlier. I said, Mason, I don't do business that way. Now, he come from some other businesses, very good. I've got an A player, come from different contractors who did it different ways. But I don't do business that way, and I explain why. As a matter of fact, some of those reasons are why he was frustrated at his old jobs. I don't want to be frustrated here, but I want him to understand how I perceive my business. I want you to explain to your people how you want business ran, how you want your customer to be perceived. It's your reputation on the line, it's your name on the checks. The other reason I think contractors struggle with this is speed. I mentioned being duplicated. Nobody is going to do it like Chris G does. Nobody's going to do it like you do. That's okay. And while it's hard for me to accept, sometimes people do it better than we can. Part of it. That's okay. We want good people. We want people better. You've heard me talk about Henry Ford. Henry Ford surrounded his people. I guess Henry didn't know much. Henry was a very good leader. He knew his thing. He was fascinated with more efficiencies. That's why he got, the production line. That's why he did so well. But he surrounded himself with people that were smarter than him. That's what I want you to do. Now, talk about speed. Some people just can't get faster unless you let them do it themselves. They don't want you looking over their shoulder. They got to learn for themselves sometimes. People learn in three different ways. They can read, they can watch, and they can do. And a good training system will do all three. That way you can get all three options for some people. But if you don't let them do it, don't give them time to read it, don't give them time to watch it, don't give them time to actually put their hands on it, they're not going to get faster. And sure hell, they ain't going to get faster if you're over there telling them what to do. And you ain't going to get bigger or better or whatever you're trying to do. Is what your responsibility is if you're over there overseeing them. The third reason I think that people really struggle with delegation is the standards. I told Mason how I do business. That's a standard. I tell people how much money in my accounting department, what we're going to do. That's a standard. There's a standard of quality. There's standards on materials. All that stuff has standards. And you need to be able to communicate that to your people. They need to know what you and your business stand for. Standards. Get it? Stand for? Anyway, I just thought of that. But anyway, if you can't communicate, then you're the problem. Your team's not. I mentioned that customer service rep. My standard that day was, I need it done today. I expect you to contact the client today. I didn't communicate that standard. Is that fair to them? No. Have I learned my lesson? Absolutely. Team members need to take the ownership after you've set the expectations and the standards. As long as you're holding them responsible and you give them that authority to do that decision, spend money, whatever money. Are there things that people, if you have a customer service rep or you have my Elizabeth, you can spend this much money. Make it happen. Make them very happy. Make the customer happy. Whatever it's going to take at a certain level. If it's going to cost more than that, let's sit down and talk about it. But she knows that she can spend the money. She has the authority. She has the little debit card now that I give her. Said, take care of it. You don't have to come to me. I trust you. Trust. That's just as important as authority and giving them responsibility. Is that they need to know that you trust them. You've been there. It's a lot of fun if you know you've been trusted. Make you give it a little bit of pride. What's another thing? That's mental shift. I had to have a mental shift when I make changes. I have to remember that, Chris, you can't do it all. You shouldn't be doing it all. And somebody probably can do it better than you. Think about that. Also remember that they're not you. You're going to grow, and that is your goal. Your company's to grow, doing more. Did it get done? That's what's most important. If it didn't get done and done exactly your way, then you're the bottleneck. You're causing all this. One time, I remember I sent my daughter out to do something. And I sat there and I watched her through the window. And this is cynical of me. I shouldn't have done. I mean, I watched because I wanted to see. But my first thought was, well, I would if she just do it this way. And I thought, you lazy bastard, you're in here watching her through the window, and she's doing what you asked her to do. That is pathetic that you think that she's not doing it right. And that's the way it should be for you guys sometimes, especially if you don't teach them how to do it right. Did I show her what to do? No. She got done what I asked her to do in her way. Most important thing to ask is, can they achieve the outcome that you need? That's what you really need to be thinking about. You hired these people for a reason. If they don't know the reason, that's not their problem. Now, I have more faith in you than that you didn't just hire somebody willy-nilly off the street, that you have a plan. And as long as you're communicating with them, letting them do their thing, they're going to help you grow. Because you give them ownership. They need to own the project. We talked about, I love profit sharing. I want my people to understand that I'm going to share the profit of the company with you. And I don't do it per person. I do it as a team. If somebody messes up, the whole team loses out. And I don't say lose out. That's not, it comes out of the profit sharing pot. Because I don't like pitting. I like being a team. I had a salesman one time. Me and Big Dave, we had a little different philosophies there. But Big Dave, he thought, well, I want you to incentivize me. And yes, I do want to incentivize people. But I also want to incentivize the team, that if you're not bringing in a sales point, the salesman's job to go out and get sales. But it's his job to get the right sales. If they're not getting the right sales, then that makes the company not make as much money. And then the whole pot shrinks on the old profit sharing bonus. Everybody needs to do their part to increase the money, and you need to communicate all that good stuff. This next one I got to thinking about, what's the cost of not delegating? I can remember way back when, and I think I've talked about the fact that I love numbers. I'm a tight ass sometimes. I got to thinking about, what's that person going to cost me? Can I afford them? That's not right. And so now I got to think about what it costs me if I don't hire that person. It goes my time, my money, and increase. It's exponential how much we can grow with more people. They know, or they should know, and if you're communicating properly, they know that they don't do their job, they won't have one. And I'm not talking about firing. I'm just talking about the business itself. The business has to survive. We are one big team as we grow. And if you're not delegating, you're going to hit that ceiling. If you don't have a plan to grow the next hire, what is your next hire? What will that person do? How can that person improve your business? And I talk about hiring people, it comes down to delegating. Delegating can be to software. Delegating can be to tools. And that's kind of a stretch maybe, but the point being is that what can you do more with what you have? What kind of investment are you going to make your business grow? I'm going to get a little personal here. My biggest fear when it comes to delegating is layoffs. I hate layoffs. Layoffs suck. I've had to do 3 in my lifetime. And it's not fair to people because they're doing a good job. And it's not their fault, but now you got to make a decision as a business owner. But that just happens. So I take that fear and it drives me to keep going, keep our business going, because I don't want to have to do one of those. I want my team to succeed. I change that fear to opportunity lost. What's the opportunity I'm going to lose if I don't hire somebody to do that job? There's other companies, lots of companies out there. You talk about being getting complacent. And one of the other ways I overcome that fear and grow my business is I got to set bigger goals. I used to run that $20 million company. I told you this before. And by golly, we were rolling. We were putting stuff together, and I had a great team. And got to a point where my team was taking care of everything daily, and I was doing bigger projects. How can we grow the business? We were buying equipment, installing equipment, going shopping for equipment. I love shopping for equipment. I was going to other plants to look at, see how they are more efficient, how we could take those ideas and bring them back home and put those in them. But my boss, he got a little nervous. And I understand why. And he said, I'm not going to spend any capital for a while. Okay. So that meant Chris G didn't have big projects to do. But Chris G had such a good team. I come into the plant. There wasn't nothing to do. I'd walk around, I'd check on things, visit with people, stuff like that, do the management by walking around. But damn, I went to my boss. I said, John, and I'm the highest paid person there. I said, you don't want to hear this, but I'm bored. I'm bored. Well, now I own my own business, and I don't want to be bored. I don't want my people to get bored. So what I got to do, I got to set bigger goals all the time. Give me something to stretch myself for. As long as you're always doing that, you will not get complacent. Never get complacent. Always grow, because if you're not growing, you're dying. Great contractors do things differently when it comes to delegation. We develop those foremen. We develop project managers. We develop office leaders. We develop ways to expand the business. We develop ways to invest the money in other assets, other investments of some sort. What can you do with the equipment you have? These companies, the public companies, that they always take and here's what we have, and they have brainstorm sessions. And here's what we've got. What can we do to expand your sales? What can we do to that? You ever been to Chili's is one of my favorite. I love Chili's. And you go to Chili's, and I remember in college, that was one of the business we had to study. And they sell their items that you can get at the restaurant at stores. They're making it anyway. They just expanded their sales, expanded their reach, expanded their profits so that they can continue to grow. Because you can only have so many Chili's in a town. What the hell are you going to do? Yeah, you can change the menu, but hell, we only got so many people sitting there. But that's the whole point. We are developing our companies to expand. And what can we do with those? We don't build houses, we build people. I build people so that they run my business without me. If you can go 2 weeks without you, not have to be around, that's one of the goals. Now, my wife likes to travel on vacation. That is not me. I go because I'm asked to. I know the kids have fun. I do like to eat out. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not that person to sit on the beach. I want to go hunting, yeah. But I want to go buy stuff, invest stuff. And I say buy. I'm not the biggest on the buying thing, but I love to invest. I like that project stuff I was telling you about. Big projects. As long as Chris has got something going on, Chris is happy. But the real question is, and the real test to your business is, can you leave? Can you be gone? I mentioned John earlier, my old boss, and he left Florida. Hell, he's gone for 3 weeks. He'd call every day, check on things. Sometimes never even call to ask me because he knew it was taken care of. He said, Chris, why do you want to own your business? I said, John, I want to be like you, to have people like me run the business, and I don't have to go check on things. I don't have to worry, because he didn't have to worry. He's down in Florida on the beach. Now, I ain't going to be on no beach. But the point being is that he didn't have to worry. He knew that Chris G was going to go do something. He's going to take care of it. It's done. Well, I want to take care of my team, take care of me, and I can go out and find those projects I like to do, whether it be with my church, whether it be with your community, whether it be with your family, or hell, just go to a ball game or something. That's what I want you to do. Go play golf. Don't invite me. Go have a good time. I like to fish. That's a whole nother story. Okay. Can you be gone? That's what's important to you. That's the real test at the end of the day. Because if you can't be gone, you no longer are a contractor of your own business. If you can be gone, you are a business owner, a business investor. Go start another business if you want. I love those money trees, and I like the orchard of money trees. So let's sum it all up as we get done here. When you build a responsible team that can grow the business without you, you have delegated properly. When that doesn't happen, you have made that mistake of not delegating properly, not delegating at all. But if you do, and you're gone those 2 weeks and don't have to worry about it, you've officially taken that hard hat off and become the CEO. That being said, you like what we hear today, hit that like and subscribe button. Chris G is always happy to talk to you. Go to my website, Hard Hat CEO. Sign up, talk to me. We can talk about all this good stuff. I want to sign off. This is Chris G again, Hard Hat CEO. God be with you to meet again.